Hey guys, hope this finds you well. Hope this finds you safe, and hope this finds you relatively sane. It's interesting time to be alive. um, our reading this morning comes from Mark chapter 10, verses 32 to 52. We come into the story where Jesus is walking with his disciples and making their way to Jerusalem. And Jesus makes a startling revelation to them. That being that when they arrive in Jerusalem, Jesus is going to be he's going to be betrayed. He's going to be brutalized, and he's going to be murdered in the most horrific way probably ever documented. And after all of that, 3 days later, he's going to rise. And then immediately after he makes that revelation, we get a look at the frailties and the shortcomings of humanity, and just how we think in this day and age, which isn't new because we have all these thousands of years ago, James and John uh, turning to Jesus and asking to sit by his left or right side in glory. So basically, they've heard what he said and completely ignored all of that because they want to get something out of it. They can see that there is a benefit to it, um, and unfortunately, that's kind of how we are nowadays. Um, the number of times I've gone to the shops and seen people trying to force their way into the queue, or or try and stockpile as much stuff as they can. um and I'll admit, whenever I pull into the car park and I see a long queue, I spend a few seconds trying to think of a way to get to the front of the queue. Maybe if I tell them I'm only getting one basket, I don't know. But don't worry, haven't done it yet, and I don't intend to. I shouldn't have said yet. I haven't done it, and I won't. Um, but the what really jumped out to me in this passage was when you get down to verse 42. After after James and John make their request, and after the other disciples get annoyed, and Jesus gets annoyed with them because a few verses prior he's told them how self-sacrifice is how you get ahead. Jesus kind of flips things on their head, as he always does. So he makes mention of how the rulers and the authorities at the time were using their privilege and their position at the front of the queue to oppress everybody else who was behind them. But Jesus said that actually, for you to get to the front of the queue, you need to start at the back, which is really counterintuitive and countercultural. But I feel that what Jesus was trying to say in this passage, or what he was trying to communicate, is that there is more satisfaction, and the fruit at the front of the queue is so much sweeter when you put others before yourself, when you allow people to experience that before yourself, um, which is kind of difficult. It's one of those where if I make myself an awesome sandwich, that I love cooking, and I love doing all kind of fancy things with my sandwiches. And then I'll walk out of the kitchen and my wife immediately goes, "Oh, that smells nice." My knee jerk reaction is to go back in the kitchen and finish my sandwich. But more often than not, I'll either give her half my sandwich or make her a sandwich. And it's not that big a deal. But in the grand scheme of things, seeing her enjoying it and knowing that I have done something for her uh, that makes her happy makes me happy. Um, and that's true about any type of giving and any type of sacrifice that you make. I was speaking to a taxi driver just the other day, and he was saying that um, he woke up one morning to get to the shops and make sure he was the first person in the queue because he needed nappies for his children. But when he got there, there was a frail old lady there, who actually had a walker, and she needed to get nappies too for her grandchildren. And he initially kind of ignored her, but then he felt, I guess, convicted that actually we're both here for the same thing. Maybe I can help her out. So he got her to wait in the car while he went and he did her shopping for her. And he said he's never seen anyone smile like that before or see anyone happy. And knowing that he was the cause of that inspired him to just be really helpful from that moment on. Um, and him having that conversation with me sparked something in me. And because of everything that's going on, I found myself becoming more cynical and more self-centered and more inward looking. Um, it's because it's just been hard and so much disappointment seeing people fighting over stuff that we could all share. But that moment of inspiration that I got from his story is wouldn't have come about if he hadn't put someone in front of him. Um, and that's kind of what I've been trying to do throughout this whole scenario, throughout this whole COVID situation. And I think that's what Jesus was trying to communicate to his disciples, that putting people first, letting go of everything, and letting and giving and being generous is not only beautiful and it's not only an awesome gesture, but it's kind of how we'll all get through this together. There's a satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment and a sense of togetherness that comes from giving, from sacrificing, from putting others before you, from letting the last be first. Um, and the glory that the disciples wanted to experience would be that much sweeter having brought everybody else along with them. And it's also kind of the only way that we're going to make it through this whole situation is by putting others before ourselves. And in doing so, that's how you build community as well. Um, so I guess in a nutshell, for us to for all the selflessness we would love to see, and all the community would like to experience, the only way we can achieve that in a sustainable way is by mirroring that and doing unto others as we'd have do unto ourselves. Um, I hope that made sense. And I hope this blesses you in the same way that it has blessed me. And yeah, thank you for listening. God